Welcome back for another video debrief. We have put out several different videos doing both foot launch and wheel launch, but I figured it was probably time for a new intro. All right, so at the end of every single session during training, we go over any videos that we took, and typically we're going over the good and the bad and explaining why it could be done better or what they did really well. We decided to share these videos with you, and we want to continue this series. So if there's anything that we missed, make sure to leave a like and a comment and let us know what you see that maybe we might have missed.
Big left. Steer towards it. Nice job. That's perfect.
So there's a few things to point out here. The first is holding too much brake. You can tell by looking at the back of the wing, but you can also see it from the pilot's arms. That caused the wing to fall back and it was no longer willing to inflate. A couple things to note about this inflation. The first is the pilot held full power for a bit too long and got into the danger zone. This is when the wing is really far off to one side, still holding power. It can cause the wing to shoot to the other side and flip you over. Another thing to note is how far off track the trike is after he was steering with his feet. The idea is you only want to turn as little as possible to stay on track or to get under the wing. Once you've made too far of a correction, the wing will actually shoot all the way to the other side and can get you back into that danger zone. A super common mistake that we see in beginner trike students is inconsistency in power. Now, that being said, you want to be consistent with power and you want to be smooth both on and off the throttle. You don't want to hold power for too long, and if you've ever watched trike videos and you're scared of trikes, typically it's due to the inconsistency in trike power as well as holding full power for too long and hoping to get off of the ground. Now let's talk about a perfect inflation. You are watching the wing, you roll to full power, nice and smooth, takes about 2 seconds. Once you're at full power, you're watching the wing still, check the wing, make sure it doesn't overfly you, and slowly roll back down to a taxi power. Once you're at taxi power, your eyes stay on the wing and you're kiting. Essentially the same as a foot launch kiting, you're making sure that that wing is nice and stable before committing to rolling onto full power to go fly. So the title for this landing is Don't Give Back What You've Already Taken. Now, if you're already a pilot, I'm sure this makes sense to you. If you're not, watch his arms when he's coming into land. As he's pumping his arms, kind of like a bird, what we're saying is don't take any more brake than you need, and if you take too much, hold it where it's at and then pull more. Never put your arms back up. It allows the wing to surge forward and it may cause a harder landing. I will say this pilot got away with a really smooth landing. This is definitely one of the most common mistakes in a beginner trike student or somebody transitioning to trike. Typically, when they feel the pull of that wing through inflation, their arms go forward, and without knowing it, they're pulling at least 6 to 8 inches of brake. This is a much smaller wing than the pilot was previously working on, and everything happens a lot faster. But you'll notice that their input to stop that ground oscillation is about a half second too slow. This is when you would want to stop it from swinging back over your head. Ground oscillations and taxiing are a bit more challenging than in the air, but we use the term marble on a cutting board. You want to make sure that you stay underneath the center of that glider and that you stop that swing from swinging back before it happens. This one was just so good, they needed a spot in the video. Thanks so much for watching Video Debrief. Let us know what you think in the comments.